viernes más con el Star Citizen Live, que en esta ocasión pues van a hacer un especial del Ship Showdown. Vamos a ver qué se están contando.
Will win, and they'll be playing for prizes awarded at the end of the show. So let's go ahead and meet our distinguished panel of people from the different departments of Star Citizen here. We only not everybody, but we got 4 departments here. We are going to just start from the the left and go to the right here. Yogi, who are you? What team are you playing for, and what do you do for Star Citizen?
So my name is Yogi. I'm part of the vehicle experience team, and yeah, I'm a programmer. Yes.
You're a programmer, and what does the vehicle experience team do?
We're improving existing aspects.
Bueno, este tipo ya sabéis que, bueno, es un programador del equipo de experiencia vehicular y, entre otras cosas, es piloto ultraligero. Así que es un buen aporte para Star Citizen, ¿no?
Be used in the day-to-day lives of the citizens, and also it's kind of fun. We look at the ships during reviews and see, like, try to envision ourselves inside this space.
Bueno, está diciendo que este es el tipo de narrativa, que muchas veces la narrativa también influye en lo que es el nombre de una nave o también pues en colocar una nave en el verso a través de la narrativa, ¿no?
Next, Elwin, tell us who you are and what you do.
What up, homies? I'm Elwin. I'm the Associate Vehicle Art Director representing the Vehicle Content Team. And what we do is we essentially build the vehicles that you guys all love. Part of our team hooks everything up so that you can fly these things. And then the last part of our team sets it up so that you can shoot each other out of the sky.
All right. And last but certainly not least, no stranger to the program, but he hasn't been around in a while. Tyler, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, everybody. Tyler, or Xylo. I manage the community team, and our main focus is acting as a metaphorical punching bag. Wait, sorry, wrong notes. Hold on. Yeah, we provide any comlinks messaging, such as monthly reports, Q&As, AMAs, infographics. We created things like the Welcome Hub, the guide system, feedback, sentiment tracking, roadmap for roadmaps, you name it. We're here to support the community and the development team as well.
All right.
Bueno, pues este tipo de aquí está en representación del equipo de vehículos, que es el que se dedica a entregarnos las naves, a hacernos las naves, ¿no? Y que las podamos volar, etcétera. El equipo, no él solo, claro. Y este sería pues el encargado de la comunidad, todo lo que tiene que ver con roadmap, feedback, etcétera.
Job.
All right. So basically, we spent. So how this contest worked is that we took submissions from the community for about 2 weeks, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong here. People submitted all kinds of stuff. What did they submit?
Everything that you could possibly imagine: songs, Legos, Play-Doh. A lot of 3D models this year, more 3D printed models than last year, which is cool because I think just the technology behind it is advancing and more people are.
Bueno, dice que hay aquí se va a decidir pues votar las creaciones, ¿no? de la gente y demás para que den esos premios que habían prometido de naves LTI a los ganadores. Creo que ya una de ellas unas 600, me parece, a los primeros, entre otras naves. Creo que al final también va a dar unas 8 Prospector al top 10. Y bueno, pues que al final pues han enviado cantidad de creaciones, desde canciones hasta figuritas de Lego, hasta, bueno, pues ya habéis visto cuadros, piezas de arte, cosas con impresoras 3D y demás, ¿no? Que está avanzando mucho esa tecnología, están comentando.
So, for example, the 890 Jump got in on sheer number of submissions, while none of them were as high as some of the top contenders if you sort by top, but there was something like 60 or 70 890 Jump submissions, and so we counted those. It's one of the reasons, I don't know if Red Lear is watching, but Gary in the Argo almost made it in, but there was just not enough posts, and when we actually mapped it all out. And then, of course, also quality of submission mattered as well. So we had a pretty big panel of judges, and we voted. And so if something was just absolutely stellar, somebody went above and beyond, like the Drake Cutlass Black song. I mean, that gentleman almost secured the Cutlass Black on his own, but, you know.
Yeah, it's safe to say the Cutlass has a wonderful constituency behind it, and I think it could. In my personal opinion, I think it's going to be the dark horse contender this year, but we will get into that momentarily. So right now on the website, you can visit robertspaceindustries.com and vote.
Bueno, está comentando un poco de que ahora se puede votar en la página de Roberts Space y además de que a la hora de escoger las naves, pues que hubo como unas 60, son unos 60 envíos de 890 y demás, que bueno, que para que estas naves salgan aquí no basta con solo una o con la calidad o sea, que tiene mucho que ver también la calidad de los envíos y que haya una cantidad, que haya más gente que envíe más cosas de una nave para que salga seleccionada en lo que es el Ship Showdown.
Each day, you may not want to vote immediately. You may want to listen to what they have to say, what ship that they are championing. If you want them to vote, maybe they can sway your vote. Maybe they won't. Who knows? You know, can anything beat the Carrack? Let's. We're going to find out right there. So let's go ahead and get started with our very first ship showdown of the show.
Están hablando en las cosas dices cuando puede algo reventar la Carrack, pues ya veremos, ¿no?
And voting is now live in the chat. Yogi, we're going to start with you in the first position here. What should win, Carrack or the Reclaimer?
So I think the Reclaimer should win. It's a big, bulky ship, and it has this industrial used vibe around it. And I was especially taking not apart, but I love the kitchen area, like the recreational area in there. You can just sit down and have a drink with your friends. So it just feels very alive, and this is why I think the Reclaimer should win.
Really, right out the gate, you went against the Carrack. Bold man. Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
Bueno, dice que
Carrack
básicamente
or the
que
Reclaimer?
le mola
Who
a
should
Reclaimer
win?
porque puedes estar
I'm really
simplemente
excited that
sentado
we're
ahí
doing a
tomándote algo con tus
fantasy
colegas y
ship
demás.
showdown league here.
fin.
I have to say the Carrack. As much as I love the Reclaimer and the impact it has when you approach it on a landing pad and like just see it looming over you, which is like kind of an experience that I think is a bit unique to Star Citizen. The Carrack, for me, embodies a bit of my dream of the Star Citizen experience. It's about getting out there and exploring. It has a little bit of everything in a really nice way. So it kind of has that mission flexibility that I look for in a ship, and it's real pretty.
Okay. Elwin.
So I agree with the things that Yogi likes about the Reclaimer, and I think that from an artistic standpoint, I definitely like the Reclaimer better. It has some very beautiful interiors, and I like sort of the mineral processing section on the inside. But at the end of the day, from a gameplay standpoint, I just think the Carrack is Star Citizen.
Bueno, dice que bueno, que el Reclaimer, aparte de que tenga un diseño espectacular y todo eso y tal, que desde un punto de vista de gameplay, la Carrack es definitivamente Star Citizen. Que ahora mismo se pueden hacer muchísimas cosas, ¿no? en la Carrack.
At standpoint, I've had a lot of fun with the Carrack, so I got to go with the Carrack.
All right, Tyler, is it going to be a tie or is it going to be a win?
Let me say that I still hear Gib Carrack in my dreams. With the amount of Gibbs that happened in the Gibboning, the Carrack earned it. It's got to be the Carrack.
It's got to be the Carrack.
Absolutely.
Right. So we have Yogi is the only standout. Sticking to his guns or his salvaging beams, as the case may be, voting for the Reclaimer. We asked you to pick who would win ahead of time, so that you could not be influenced by the voting that's going on down below. Yogi, who did you pick would win?
I actually picked Carrack because of Gib Carrack. There's so much fuss about that.
Dice que en realidad el único que defendía la Reclaimer dice que en realidad que a quién seleccionó para que siguiera adelante, dice que en realidad escogió la Carrack, el cabrón.
All right, Will, who did you predict would win?
The Carrack.
Carrack. Elwin.
Carrack.
Tyler.
Carrack.
And I don't think that's any surprise looking at the voting that was going on live. The Carrack ran away with it, almost a 2-1 advantage there. No surprise there. So we are going to move on to our next. Oh, where's my button here? I've got too many things to go under. So we're going to move on to our next battle. The Day 2, the Drake Caterpillar versus the Miss Prospector. So Will, we're going to start with you.
Oh, geez.
Caterpillar Prospector, who wins?
I say Prospector. I think just the mining experience that we have coming on, and like the Prospector, it's kind of that unitasker, but really nicely built for it of sitting there in an asteroid belt riding, being a laser jockey is, I think, just an excellent experience. The Caterpillar.
Bueno, dice que estar ahí, que dice que en la Prospector, entre la Prospector y la carrera de la Prospector, porque estar ahí sentado en un asteroide, ¿no? Posado en un asteroide minando, que es una buena experiencia.
Into that, putting on some music, heading out into the black and mining, I got to give it to the Prospector.
You know, Elwin and his team made the Caterpillar, right? He's right there next to you.
Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic ship.
All right. And the Caterpillar won last year's Ship Showdown, the inaugural Ship Showdown. The Caterpillar was the surprise, at least it was for me, it was a surprise winner at the end of that. Elwin, what's your pick? Who should win?
Who should win?
Should win.
Okay, so yes, you already let everybody know I actually did work on the Caterpillar, but I actually think the Prospector should win. And
Otro que piensa que la
the reason
Prospector
for
debe ganar.
that is because I like big lasers, and this one has a
Cannot
giant
lie.
one.
Su motivo es porque le gustan los láseres grandes y ya está. Madre mía.
It has to be the thing with the big laser. I also think that the canopy is really, really nice in this ship. One of the best, I think, actually, for
También dice que piensa que la cabina es una de las mejores en el juego.
some of the interior looks of some later ships. So I think it's a great ship. It's a great little sort of starter mining ship. So I go with the Prospector.
All right. Tyler.
I just want to say that I'm disappointed because I will first say yes. I think that the Prospector should win as well, and it looks like, according to Twitch chat, they're voting for that as well. But why didn't you turn out and vote when it mattered most? I'm a fan of mining. Cargo gameplay is great, but I'm a fan of mining. Just like Elwin said, the canopy of the Prospector, I think, provides gorgeous views. Yeah, that's the one for me.
Yogi.
Yeah, I'm also with the
Hey, bueno,
Prospector. There's this thing about the ship, like you can stand next to the pilot in the canopy, enjoy the view, and just be really like judgmental about the pilot, telling them, oh yeah, that's not going to work out and so on. And it's great that you can do that on that ship, just standing next to the pilot and enjoying the view. Yeah, it just feels very alive to me. So yeah, I would say the Prospector should win this round.
Al final parece que pesa muchísimo la cabina de la Prospector para las decisiones que están tomando. Y
Vote yes.
se están votando también en el chat, por lo que veo.
The Caterpillar crushed. So what's the disparity here?
I don't know, but I will say that we get points if we're right.
También
Right?
estamos
Who
dando en el
should
chat,
win, will win.
And should win, for this contest, not for what happened yesterday. So Yogi, who did, Will, who did you pick should win? Or would win? Sorry.
Oh man.
Who did you pick? What would win?
Come back to me. I
Nope.
have to look at my thing.
Nope. Everybody picked Caterpillar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Will
That's why
win.
I said,
All of you hedged your bets. All of you
It's not
sat
too
there and
late.
said,
It's not too late. They can still switch their votes. They can still.
I did know the Caterpillar won Best in Show last year. Like it is a gorgeous ship. It has that dream of like those sides opening up, the dragonflies launching out. Like once we get some like sweet tractor beam gameplay going and of hauling in stuff into those big open gaping mouths just hungry for loot.
Nada, simplemente están haciendo un show en directo, la gente está votando a través del chat de qué naves son. O sea, al final es un poco repetir un poco el plato que ya está puesto en la web, ¿no? De repetir las votaciones. Un poco lo que hice yo el otro día, de hacer los versus, pero de otra manera, ¿no? De todas maneras... De todas maneras, bueno, o sea, vamos a verlo, a ver qué se cuece, porque se supone que al final los ganadores que salgan de aquí, o de alguna manera los seleccionados iban a tener algún tipo de premio, ¿no? Y sobre todo para ver si nos cuentan algo de esos... de esas cositas que decían que se iban a poner a la venta las naves, o goodies, ¿no? Que decían que iban a poner. Vamos a ver.
size matters when it comes to these ships, and people seem to vote size of these things more than almost anything else, which is a little disappointing to me. But maybe we'll change some minds. We'll turn some heads today with our voting. We're moving on to day three. Day three, which voting is currently going on on the website right now. It is Gladius versus Defender.
Gladius
Elwin, you're starting us off. Who
A ver qué
should
pasa
win?
aquí.
Gladius or Defender?
Oh man, this one was a hard one for me because I really like sort of what was done On the artistic side for the Defender, I think it has a really unique interior. But in terms of gameplay, I think the Gladius is a stronger choice. I think it's a better fighter. It's got a better arsenal.
Está diciendo... ¿Qué dice? ¿Qué dice? Está diciendo que tiene mejor arsenal y mejores capacidades de combate la Gladius que la Defender. Está loco. No ha jugado al juego, el desgraciado. No.
Is my pick for who should win, and that was really just a personal preference between the two ships. It didn't go much deeper than that. The Gladius goes way back to being my favorite ship back when I was in QA, and it's still up there as my favorite dogfighter.
It's hard to battle against the Gladius because it's one of the signature ships of Squadron 42. We know that it seems to be the test bed for so many new features. Like we've already seen in ISC. The work on the physicalized dashboard, starts with the Gladius. The weapon rack that we've seen goes in the Gladius. Many of the new flight model changes always start with the Gladius.
Que dice que es difícil escoger, o sea, enfrentar una Gladius contra otra nave porque la Gladius es como una especie de seña de identidad de la casa, en el sentido de que es una nave en la que se hacen todos los cambios, como por ejemplo la inclusión del rack de misiles en la parte lateral, etcétera, ¿no?
You just took pretty much everything of that away, what I wanted to say. I mean, there's no discussion. It is the most beautiful ship that we have in the game. It just looks like the prototypic fighter. Yes, it is the most beautiful ship. There's no discussion there. It is really great in space.
Carrick would like to have a word with you.
Fine. But it's also really great in atmosphere because of the wings, right? And it is the test spec for new technology. So I am a little biased there because I spent a lot of time in that cockpit during development, but still I would prefer it for gameplay reasons. So yeah, I'll stay with the Gladius.
It's hard to argue
Gladius
against the
todos.
gull wings too. Like, I'm a sucker for any ship with the gull wings. Will, what was your pick? Who should win?
Gladius all the way. And it was hard for me because I love the Defender too. Like, it's such a cool looking Xeno ship. It has those really sexy curves on the inside, and when you walk in it, it's a unique experience. But the Gladius, for me, that cockpit is, like, as you mentioned, is the test bed. So it's one of our most refined cockpit experiences.
Claro, sí, o sea, el cockpit de la Gladius es uno de los más refinados del juego, pero... En fin.
And checking out what's happened in the Gladius, and so I keep going back to it over and over.
Could the Gladius be a dark horse favorite to take this? Do we think the community likes it enough?
You mean at the very end?
Yeah.
I do not think so. No.
Okay.
No.
In the Woodwind, Yogi, who did you pick would win?
Gladius, for
Nice.
the same reasons.
Tyler, who did you pick would win?
Gladius.
Okay. Will, who did you pick would win?
Gladius.
Elwin, what were you thinking?
I just think alien ships are cool, man. I thought
You're
people
not
would
wrong.
be seduced. I thought people would be seduced by just the difference, right? Like, just the fact that it's different than all the other ships we have. The Gladius has a fantastic cockpit, and it
Ah,
gets
no, es al
better,
revés. O sea, el Arsenal lo
month by
decía,
month
vale,
as we
vale.
add more
Al
features
final
to
es
it.
al revés. O sea, él decía
But it
la...
is more of a
Él
contemporary
defiende la
looking
Defender, sí, sí,
style
porque tiene mejor
cockpit.
arsenal. Bien, joder,
We
bien.
don't really
bien.
have that many
Retiro lo
alien
dicho,
ships in the game,
chavales,
so
me he
I
equivocado.
thought the
Me he
community would
equivocado.
be seduced by
Dice que
that.
tiene la Defender tiene
It-
mejor
made a
arsenal,
mistake.
claro.
You can never discount. You can never discount the alien tax. It's that the alien ships always have that extra
La
edge
Defender,
of
la
cool
Defender.
to them, just because they're
Pero de
different
calle,
and
vamos.
unique and stand so far apart from all the other ships. But in the voting for today's show, the Gladius is running away with it. It remains to be seen how the voting on the website will go for this day. So you can actually go vote right now on the RobertSpaceIndustries.com website for this particular battle today. Will you be in line with our Gladius predictions? Will the Gladius be the dark horse that can go up against what could be the Carrick in the semifinals, or will you succumb to the alien tax and choose the Defender? It's all up to you. We are moving on to day 4 now. Day 4 is the Eclipse versus the Hammerhead. Now this
Bueno,
one
esto, la Eclipse
this
contra
is
la
our
Hammerhead.
only Aegis versus Aegis option. Tyler, start us off. Who wins? Who should win? The Eclipse or the
Who
Hammerhead?
should win?
Who should
I
win?
think that the Eclipse should win. I think a lot of people would agree with me that the cockpit is like the coolest opening animation and view. I just love the way it feels when you're sitting in an Eclipse.
All right.
Yeah.
picked the Eclipse.
Piensa que debería ganar la
Yogi,
Eclipse
is
por
he
cómo te
right?
sientas en el
Who
cockpit,
should
la
win?
sensación que da y todo.
No, he's not right. I think the Hammerhead should win because it's due to the large amount of turrets. It just has like a lot of like multi-crew potential, and when all of them firing at the same time, it's just grand. It looks fantastic.
How do you argue against those turrets, man? It is just
Dice que
ridiculous. It's not only
las
just,
torretas permiten hacer un gameplay, o sea, da mucha profundidad al gameplay, ¿no? A la multitripulación. Y que debería ganar la Hammerhead, dice. Y dice, ¿cómo podéis ir contra esas torretas? Dice Jared, ¿no?
How do you
Encourage other
choose it?
people. Other people should vote for the Eclipse as well. That'd be great. Thank you. Oh wait, no, actually, oh, never mind. Can't say Will.
Will,
You're
who
doing
should
fine.
win?
Carry on.
Who should win, Will?
I Hammerhead, and that was 100% based on that in-game poster of the Hammerhead.
The Jaws,
looking up.
yes.
I love it. That just sways me.
Yeah. Elwin?
Dice que la Hammerhead por el póster este que hay que parece
Yeah, I'm a simple man.
un anuncio de un tiburón, ¿no? De que se ve ahí como saliendo hacia arriba en azul todo.
Guns and guns. So I went for the Hammerhead.
Oh no.
Oh. So, Tyler, you're odd person out here. You got three people being very clear about the Hammerhead. I will say, in the community voting, though, the Eclipse is making a respectable showing. So, for the community voting that's going on, I can just say this is a referendum against Tyler.
It's very on brand for the Eclipse to kind of sneak up on you.
That's right.
In the voting.
It is.
Come on, vote Eclipse. I'll take my shirt off.
It's hard because it's obvious the Hammerhead has all that potential with the turrets. It has a really cool militaristic interior by Aegis that is very evocative of things like the Idris, and it is a big ship. It's one of the biggest ships that you can currently fly in the persistent universe today. So it's got all those things going for it. I'm looking at it. I'm vamping right now as we look at the Eclipse slowly inching up. Can the Eclipse work? It's like I'm drawing this out a little bit to see if we can just redeem Tyler. If we can just do this. Yogi, who did you vote should win? Or would win, rather. Would win.
Yeah,
No
so
way.
I actually voted for the Eclipse, mainly because it's a ship which you can use alone, and it has a very interesting shape. I disagree with the cockpit though. I don't think the visibility is good because of this thing at the top of this panel there.
And
But
that's
other than
okay.
that,
Vale, dice que además
That's okay, 'cause
este que es piloto dice que no está de acuerdo con lo de la cabina y todo eso porque dice que quita mucha visibilidad a la parte de arriba, ¿no?
it's very agile for its size, and just the role that it plays is really important in anti-cap ship battles.
So, Yogi, you are the only person who said the Eclipse would win. Everybody else stuck to their guns with the Hammerhead. Tyler, after arguing the Eclipse, still went, yeah, the Hammerhead's going to win.
Yeah,
But it looks like at the end of our voting, the Eclipse is going to win our internal
yo creo que va a
voting.
ganar la
So,
Eclipse
Yogi,
también,
you get that correct prediction there. Way to pull it out.
Están diciendo ahí de que al final la Hammerhead sí, pero al final hoy por hoy dentro de lo que es el juego la Eclipse está muy fuerte, llama mucho la atención.
Turned it around. Yogi successfully predicted the Eclipse. Let's move on to day 5. Day 5, we've got an interesting one. This one was, looking at your predictions, this one was surprisingly divisive to me. So I want to spend some time discussing how this
Constellation
works.
o Drácula, yo creo que va a ganar Constellation.
Yogi, we're back to you,
Hostia, la
starting
culpa
things
sale de
off.
saco.
Constellation or Cutlass? Who did you pick
So-
should win?
Dios.
Should win, I picked the Cutlass because it's a very versatile ship again. It is like it is a small ship that has already multi-crew functionality. It has a turret, it has a co-pilot seat, and you can use it for like hauling some cargo.
En resumidas cuentas está diciendo que escoge la Kuldas por debido a su pequeño tamaño y que a pesar de su pequeño tamaño tiene una funcionalidad multicrew con su torreta, su asiento de copiloto.
Constellation. So I went with the Cutlass. It's also like I spent a lot of time developing for this thing when we did the turret updates. It's the easiest ship to spawn and sit in the turret right away, and only having one turret, which is great for debugging.
All right. Will, who should win?
I mean, that's an interesting point that a lot of people have the Cutlass. I mean, metagaming this, do you think people are more likely to vote for ships that are inside their fleet over something that they aspire towards or don't actually have as part of one of their ships? Interesting. I voted for the Cutlass Black for many of the same reasons that Yogi said. When I'm heading out for a mission, that's very much my go-to. You know, it's got the cargo room. It can hold its own in a fight. It's scrappy. It gets it done. You know, anytime you need it.
Claro, este dice que más o menos como el otro, que por las cualidades que ha dicho y aparte de porque cuando vas a hacer una misión es la nave que escogería, ¿no? Que simplemente vas a hacerla y tienes tu espacio de carga, es rápida. Aparte comentaba yo hoy que tiene el acceso más rápido a torreta del juego, que en realidad el acceso más rápido a torreta del juego es la Vanguard. Pero bueno.
Version of the Cutlass, it would have been the Constellation that I think should have won. But at the moment, the current Cutlass has such an aggressive posture when it's sitting on the landing pad. To me, I just think it looks awesome. If you're in this dark landing pad with maybe some mist or smoke or something like that with the headlights on, it just looks very intimidating. So I like that feel. So for me, I think it should be the Cutlass Black.
Okay, Tyler, bring it home.
This one's easy. Should be the Cutlass. I'm skipping ahead. It will be the Cutlass. That's just this is a community favorite, and I have access to the analytics to support that.
All right, let's talk about the Constellation though. The Constellation, I don't think we'd. Obviously, everybody was in agreement. We look at the voting. The community is in agreement, but the Constellation is still rocking about 36% of the vote here. What reasons could people be voting for the Constellation? What's great about the Constellation that could make
¿Qué
it win?
razones generales podría haber por la que la gente votase por la Constellation?
I mean that drop-down storage area, like pulling a vehicle into it, is pretty sweet when you get down on a planet. I mean, it's 4 like big main thrusters on the side are kind of iconic, and I think, you know, I've had a lot of my earlier first multiplayer experiences in Star Citizen on a Constellation Andromeda, and there's a lot of good feelings there about the crew getting together on that ship. And it's small, it's compact, it's, you know, it's focused, but it still has enough room for you and your friends to go out and have adventures. So I like that.
A lot of folks in the chat are saying that the Connie needs a rework.
Sí.
It is.
Dice, mucha gente está diciendo en el chat que la gente necesita un rework.
Citizen, it was one of the original 5 that was introduced back in the Kickstarter campaign. It's got the RSI name on it. I mean, that's got CR's name on it. It's the Connie was meant to be this multi-role superiority ship that it's got the parasite craft and the missile arrays and the turrets and does a little bit of so many things. If the Cutlass is winning today, would you bet against the Constellation in the long run? Though, I mean, is it always going to be second fiddle to the Cutlass, or do you think there's room for some improvement there in the future without committing to anything? Because none of us are the people that would be doing the work.
Yeah, Elwin, can you confirm if the Connie's getting a rework on stream?
I can't talk about future planned work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of design elements in this ship that I think could be improved. Like me personally, I'm not the hugest fan of having both turret entrances in the same spot, so players kind of have to wait to get in and out. But I do think it's really cool that it has its own kind of dedicated dock for the Merlin. And I think in the long run, I think the Constellation will start getting a little bit more love, just because it does give you a little bit more space to bring more people to be able to actually do things on the ship while you...
Están preguntando básicamente si hay espacio para mejorar o si se va a hacer un futuro rework de la Constellation. Dice, este sería uno de los representantes del equipo de naves, dice que no puede hablar de eso ahora mismo, pero dice que definitivamente hay mucho espacio para mejoras y que a largo plazo que probablemente la Constellation la acabe ganando a la Cutlass. Yo creo que el mayor problema que tiene ahora mismo la Constellation, tal como está, ya quitando lo del rework, es que las torretas son una porquería. O sea, debería tener 2 torretas con 2 armas de tamaño 3 cada una y tener la misma visibilidad que por lo menos tiene las torretas de una Cutlass Black, porque al final la visibilidad que tiene es muy limitada, ni siquiera permite apuntar hacia adelante, porque como están levantadas, ¿vale? Están levantadas sobre la nave un poco, no permite apuntar a los objetivos que tiene delante. Es muy, muy triste, o sea, para las 2 torretas que tiene. O sea, es muy desaprovechadas, ¿no?
Of the ship slightly changes, and that looks just really, really badass. I had this one experience on the Phoenix, which has like these side windows, right? And it just stood there, and David was in the front cockpit, and he just turned on the weapons, and suddenly like this big missile array right in front of me would get out. It was like, oh wow, that is so cool. And the Andromeda does that as well. So it just, I mean, you cannot see it from the inside, but it does these things. So from the outside, the whole ship, the shape changes and looks really threatening. And this is what I really like about Andromeda.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I don't have any inside information on this. I don't have any information on a rework, and that's not what we're talking about. I'm just talking about from a ship that's as important to the iconography of Star Citizen as the Connie. I just wouldn't bet against it in the long run. Today, on this day in 2020, I think I'd agree the Cutlass is the clear winner. But in the long run, when all is said and done, I just wouldn't bet against the Connie.
We have a biased host right now who's contributing to.
No, this is.
Sí, bueno, está diciendo Escolando que ahora mismo pues está de acuerdo en que la Cutlass es la nave que parte, pero que al tiempo pues la Constellation le gustaría que acabase retomando puestos. Además por el hecho de que bueno es la nave que lleva, es una nave icónica con el Kickstarter y todo eso, y además pues lleva el nombre de Chris Roberts en ella, etcétera. Tiene una historia una serie de historias alrededor, ¿no?
But for the same reasons, I mean, I wouldn't want to estimate what the community really likes about the ship compared to the Cutlass, but I was going for it. It's a very interesting ship. So yeah.
Also, the Cutlass was one of the final four last year, so there could be a weighted vote for the Constellation when this comes up in 2 days. I think there could be a weighted vote towards the Constellation to maybe get it some more attention, for whatever the rewards are. I actually don't know what the rewards are for this year's Ship Showdown. I was about to say, but I actually don't know. Will, who did you predict?
Cutlass.
Bueno, están haciendo la selección Cutlass. Pero al final lo que están hablando es, bueno, no aseguran nada de rework ni nada, pero no lo niegan. Evidentemente, si no lo niegan, pues es que es esperado, ¿no? Un rework de la Constellation, de la serie Constellation. Y yo creo que también hay muchas cosas que faltan por meter, ¿no? Con el tema todo de la carga, que va a ganar mucha importancia, también con el inventario físico de poder meter cosas adentro, ¿no? Al final va a cambiar mucho lo que es la percepción de la gente de esa nave, igual que por ejemplo de las Vanguard también, ¿no?
16, Aegis has 5 ships in the Swiss 16, but coming in at number 2 was a surprise to me. The Misk with 3 ships. They've got the Reliant, the Prospector, and what we'll discuss later as the Razor. Will, between the Avenger and the Reliant, who should win?
The Reliant. I was real happy to see it in the Sweet 16.
Entre la Avenger y la Reliant,
I think it's a ship that should get
la Titan,
a little more attention on it. I remember back when we were first kind of brainstorming the Reliant and going off this idea that Misk had this early trade deal with the Xi'an. And so we had said that they started using Xi'an thrusters in the Freelancer, but this was the next evolution. And so taking that idea of Xi'an verticality and applying it to a human ship was so interesting to me. And so it has that amazing transformation with the cockpit just floating in the middle there, and it's kind of got this more like scientific, like thinking man ship edge to it. It's a little bit different.
Mira, aquí yo creo que también es otro caso de, bueno, está diciendo que está flipando en plan del rollo de, porque claro, la tecnología Xi'an y cómo se pone en vertical y todo eso, ¿no? Al final yo creo que esta nave también es un poco, a la Avenger y la Reliant ahora mismo le pasa un poco lo que le pasa a la Constellation y a la Cutlass probablemente, ¿no? Y es que ahora mismo la Avenger es mucho más útil en el juego con la Reliant. La Reliant está muy mal, no hay blindajes, no hay esa necesidad de tener una eficiencia de combustible que podamos necesitar en ese futuro. Tampoco está implementada en las mecánicas de carga para considerar si es una opción interesante ir o no ir en esa nave. Y realmente el precio que tiene es que no merece. O sea, incluso es mejor una Piscis que una... Sin duda, vamos, una Piscis que una Reliant, ¿no? Además estamos hablando de que la Avenger tiene cama y la Reliant no tiene cama.
Kind of like the flying eyeballs. I like the way they rotate. I don't know. There's just a lot of things I like about this ship. I like the overall silhouette. Yeah, I definitely think it should win.
All right, Tyler, tell them why they're wrong.
The Avenger Titan is a community classic. I think it's the ship I see most flying in the verse. I think that it's accessible. It's a nice all-rounder. It's a little penguin-y. I think it's a no-brainer. I'm going with the Avenger Titan should win.
The Avenger Titan should win.
Yes.
All right, Yogi?
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion here. I think the Avenger Titan is just a nice all-rounder. It has like some internal capacity, and it looks just really sleek from every angle that you can think of. And yeah, I think
Me
a lot of
gusta el
players
diseño
like
por
it,
fuera
so I
de
would
la
say
Titan y además que puede llevar un
the
poco de
Titan
carga. Al
should
final
win.
la Titan es una
The
mini
Avenger
cutlass,
is a
¿no?
good-looking ship, man. It was one of, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was one of Nate Dearsley's first ships for the project back
Yeah,
when.
right,
it was like was it 1.0? It was like the end of 2014. I think it was like right after I joined.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
And then it had the rework a couple years ago that made it even better. I've always been enthralled with the one of my favorite movies of all time is Blues Brothers. So having when the first version had the faded police decals on it, like it used to be like an old police cruiser, that made me fall in love with it. It also occupies this very weird place where it's kind of a starter, but it's not. It's like it wasn't listed as one of the starter ships, but it's been available for pledge since almost the beginning of the project, and it's one of those evergreen ships that are always available. So it's kind of grown into the role of a pretty solid starter there. And I don't know, when I look at this whole thing, and I mean I'm not part of this contest. I'm just offering my things. I can't shut up. I think the Avenger could actually go all the way on this thing, but that's my thing. So who did we pick would win? Will, what was
Claro,
your
al
pick
final
for
lo que
would
está
win?
diciendo un poco que es que
The Avenger.
la Avenger es
The
una
Avenger.
starter muy
Owen?
sólida, ¿no?
Yeah.
Y sí lo
The
es.
Avenger.
Okay, so you win at cross purposes. You're rooting for both of you are rooting for the Reliant, but in your
Yeah.
heart of hearts, you're like, yeah, no, the community is going to choose the Avenger. Tyler,
Yeah, the Avenger.
the Avenger. Yogi,
Well,
Well, this
not
is
the
awkward.
Avenger. Yeah. I actually went with the Reliant Core because it looks very, very different to other ships. Like myself personally, I like these really like classic science, like sci-fi spaceships that we grew up like from Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica and so on. And the Reliant
Sí,
Core
Zorro, en
is something
verdad.
completely different. It looks
A ver,
amazing
la
when
Tana
it
está muy
lands.
bien. La Rally Tana está muy bien, que conste. Está muy bien porque tiene un espacio para una cajita, puedes llevar otro tipo, puedes llevar armas, tiene 2 camas. La Rally Tana está genial. Te puede ofrecer una experiencia de combate interesante y es una mini Vanguard, ¿vale? En ese sentido, es una mini Vanguard. La de ciencia y eso, pues habrá que verla, tiene buena pinta. Yo creo que o sea, la cagada de la Reliant de carga es que no tiene cama. O sea, es una cagada.
no,
I do love the Avengers kind of.
Bueno, que no tiene cama y que no tiene esa capacidad, o sea, que justifique su compra, porque al final la Titan tiene la misma capacidad de carga que la Reliant Core. Entonces, si aún tuviese, pues por lo menos un poco más de carga o algo más, necesita algo más, ¿no?
Evolution of that, which
Right.
is really cool. I think the Reliance going to grow. I think once planetary atmosphere comes more online and being able to reorient the ship wings as it is to address like wind shear and stuff like that will be real interesting. So I do think it is one to watch in the future. But right now, the Avenger might take it.
All right. Well, we are almost at the end here. We're moving on to day 7, and what I think.
Claro, estaba diciendo al final de que la Reliant, pues al final puede que mejore con el tema todo ese de atmósfera y demás, cuando gira las alas, pero al final eso no puede competir contra una Titan y su forma, es mucho más aerodinámica, ¿no?
2 drop ships. Who do you pick?
All right. Well, so look, I worked on one of these 2 ships, being the Prowler. And there's a lot of things I really love about the Prowler, a lot of things that we did that I think are really, really cool. But ultimately, I do think that the Valkyrie probably should win. And the reason for that comes down to purely gameplay. And here, let me point out a couple of things, right? One, I like that the Valkyrie has enough space for you to bring in some ground equipment, other vehicles.
Vehicles.
As a dropship, if what you
Claro, aquí está diciendo de que por razones de gameplay debería ganar la Valkyria frente a la Prowler porque puedes desplegar un vehículo y tal. Yo acá voy a decir una cosa. Si es por razones de gameplay actual, si tú quieres hacer un despliegue de tropas, realmente debería ganar la Prowler porque ahora mismo la Prowler precisamente tiene una señal más baja, no puede ser detectada por un eclipse, te ahorra muchísimos problemas. Incluso si quieres hacer misiones de piratería en atmósfera ahora mismo está yendo muchísimo más rápida. Y si vas a tener como nave única una de las dos, pues sí, la Valkyria, pero realmente si las enfrentas en plan de cuál me compro porque tengo otras naves, pues la Prowler yo creo que hoy en día es mucho más eficiente en el verso que la Valkyria. Al fin y al cabo, si tú quieres hacer algo de carga en la Valkyria, no lo haces en una Valkyria, lo haces en otra nave, ¿no?
Sexier ship. The startup animations, the silhouette, it's just artistically, I would vote the Prowler. However, I also went with the Valkyrie should win. Just for gameplay reasons, I think that if you're going to be a drop ship, being able to bring more supplies, vehicles, I mean, you're equipped and you're ready to go, and I think that outdoes the hover mechanics of the Prowler. So Valkyrie it is for me.
Did you go with that? Because I'm looking at the list.
Sí, claro, la verdad.
Uh,
O sea,
I see that you
dice
picked
otra
the
vez
Prowler ship.
Tyler que la Valkyria por razones
I
de
emailed
gameplay,
you
pero...
at 3:24 p.m. yesterday, day 7.
Pero al final es eso, o sea, al final hoy mismo el hacer un despliegue, o sea, llevas a 20 tíos a bordo para desplegar, vamos a poner que va full, 20 tíos a bordo. Hoy en día no puedes jugártela que esos 20 tíos se coman un torpedo, porque se va todo. Ya veremos de cara al futuro, ¿no? Ya veremos de cara al futuro a ver qué pasa, pero...
Sorry, I don't know what just happened.
De cara al futuro quizás la Valkyria se desarrolle un poco más, pero bueno.
All right, Yogi, who should win?
I'm with the Valkyrie as well. There was this fun thing which I had found out about the ship. So when we were working on the turret updates, right, we knew about the side guns. I mean, the side miniguns, they're already great. Like you sit in the remote seat, and then you can just like you have a really wide angle
Otra
where
vez,
you can.
este también va con la Valkyria, le encanta lo que son las armas que tiene el lado y tal. Yo entiendo entiendo el planteamiento de ellos, ¿no? Porque quizás no pongan vistas en lo que ahora mismo está el juego, de cómo está, ¿no? Pero definitivamente, si queréis ahora mismo compraros una nave in-game, estamos hablando, para hacer despliegue, para dedicarlo a despliegue, sin duda id por una Prowler. O sea, no vayáis por una Valkyria porque no merece. O sea, ahora mismo no merece. En el futuro, pues sí, en el futuro será distinto seguramente, pero ahora mismo no merece. Os lo digo por experiencia, lo he visto en mis directos y tal, que hemos ido con la Prowler de Reggae y luego hemos ido en la Valkyria y al final con la Prowler tienes la ventaja tremenda de que si estás buscado no te van a tirar un torpedo, tienen que acercarse para eso y eso te da mucha más versatilidad, ¿no? O sea, mucha más versatilidad, mucha más supervivencia, no versatilidad.
Tavarin styling is amazing to me. I love the air shield tech. I love the cockpit and the unique control. The way that you steer the ship is just beautiful to me. And I think while the Valkyrie has that traditional like ground assault feel to it, like with that air shield tack, if you're going to be boarding a spaceship, like you've just like shot out like a javelin's thrusters,
Sí,
and
eso
it's floating there, and you
versatilidad,
swoop in with your Prowler,
totalmente.
and your guys just float out into the cold black to do a boarding action. I think Prowler.
Stuff. He gets to use like fancy narrative verbiage.
La diferencia de personas entre una Valkyria y una Harlock y una Prowler no es tan grande, Harlock. La Valkyria lleva muchísima peña, pero la Prowler también, ¿eh?
So, looks like the community agrees with you.
No.
On the Valkyrie. Who did you pick should win? Who did you pick should win, Owen?
Yeah, it makes me sad. I wish I could have said the Prowler, just because there's a lot of things we did on that I really love, but I ultimately think that, the Valkyrie, the gameplay it provides is just superior, I think.
But
It's not too late, community. Vote Prowler. There's still time.
Yes, please vote Prowler.
But you did pick would win Valkyrie, though, didn't you?
I did, but I'm willing to take the L on the point there just to get like the victory for the Prowler.
All right, Tyler.
He sent you an email this
Who'd you
night
say would
at
win?
3
I was pretty confident, even though I said the Valkyrie should win. I was pretty confident that the aesthetic of the Prowler would push it into being the winner, and I look like I was wrong.
Yep. Yeah. You said the Valkyrie would.
Necesito saber qué pasó con la estética de la pondría tal, pero...
Yep. Yogi, who'd you say would win?
No, I said I said the Prowler would win, so I'm losing.
Oh, you said the Prowler would win?
That's why
okay.
I did.
We obviously messed up our scoring on day 7, so JJ's fixing it for me. Yogi?
Okay.
I said Valkyrie, and for the reason that the Prowler has some aesthetics that make it look really, really mean from the inside and the outside. I mean, have you gone in there? I mean, there's this ladder which you go up, and it's so twisted and weirdly angled. It's amazing. But also, when when I am in the ship, I feel actually more evil than I think I am. And I would think that the community kind of like has the same feelings towards that ship. It is.
Sí, a ver, yo la votación cerró que ya dije que iba a hacer de las naves y iba a ser basada en el gameplay de ahora, o sea, el gameplay que se ofreciera ahora, ¿no? Porque todas las naves que están además están flight ready y pues esa es mi idea y ahora mismo la Valkyria no sirve, o sea, no sirve, es que no sirve porque te la juegas. Si realmente, o sea, para hacer carga vas a utilizar otra cosa. Y para ir las torretas, o sea, para ir a hacer despliegue, pues la prole es muy superior ahora mismo, pero muy superior.
Last but not least, we are moving on to our final vote, and perhaps the biggest mismatch of this entire contest for day 8 here. We have got the Origin's only entry in the contest, and Misk's third, the Razor. Tyler, start us off.
All right.
Between the Origin
La
and the
Razor va a
80
volver a
jump and
ganar,
the Razor, who
o sea, va a volver a
should
ganar
win?
una nave pequeña en 890 jump. Ojo,
I think the 890 jump has had its time to shine. Shoran, Yacht
porque ya
Club,
pasó con la Dragonfly.
forgive me. I love y'all. I think it's time for the Misk Razor. I think that's what we should go with. So go ahead and vote that. And if you do, maybe we'll do like a giveaway. I got stickers. I'm here to bribe you. Microtech. We got Pico stickers. Vote the Razor.
I don't know how fair that is. Yogi.
Nobody
should
set
win?
any rules. You just invited me.
It's totally unfair. So I think the 890 should win because in terms of like role-playing game for Star Citizen, this is one of the best ships you can actually get. At a couple of months ago, we did like a playtest.
Dice que la 890 es una de
And
las
I
mejores naves que
remember
puedes pillar ahora,
Dave
que debería
Coles and
ganar
me
la
were like
890.
walking through the 890 and just going through again like the eating space like where I can sit down and have like dinner, and we just sat across each other and took like and just like thought, hey, how cool would it be just to eat here, right? And then you can just go up and sit somewhere on a couch and gaze out there at the stars. There's like not a lot of gameplay there yet, but it kind of like communicates the dream that Star Citizen is really, really well, and you can just get lost in it. So I think this is why the 890 should win, just for that kind of experience. I mean,
Vale, en resumidas cuentas está hablando de que el otro día pensé que podía comer delante del PC, supongo que se referirá, y sentarse en una mesa de la 890 a comer en la vida real. Y pues que digamos que proporcionaría la capacidad, que ahora mismo no hay mucho gameplay, pero que proporcionaría la capacidad en el futuro de perderse, ¿no? en lo que es dentro del juego, ¿no? de una total inmersión.
That we put into the Razor of Misk trying to achieve more, tying into the Xi'an a little bit of the endurance racing that we gave for them, that like the Xi'an were kind of doing Le Mans style, like really like long races, and the Razor would maybe be a little more suited for that than the straightaway more traditional Murray Cup. And so the idea of humans starting to get into the Xi'an style racing and the Misk, designing the Razor a little bit to appeal to that was very interesting to me, and I like how it looks. And Razor.
All right. Elwin.
Yeah, so I ended up first of all, I was like, these are completely different, but for me, definitely the Razor. I just think aesthetically the lines are beautiful. I love like the obvious F1 influences on it. And I'm a fan of seeing as many kind of racing ships as we can get into the game. So if we can get more of them in there and make that more popular by getting the Razor to win, I'm all for it. I like the way they also integrated the Xi'an tech, the way Will mentioned, but from an artistic standpoint, it harkens back to also the way.
Entre este y el artista están echando flores a la Razor, diciendo que bueno que le seduce mucho la idea de que de esa supuesta capacidad que quizás la Razor tenga de hacer rallies de una duración más larga, por aquello de, bueno, ya sabéis, eficiencia de motores Xi'an y demás. Y Elwin está comentando de que le encanta el diseño de la Razor y cómo se han adaptado esos motores Xi'an a la Razor, ¿no? Cómo Miss ha adaptado esos motores a la nave, ¿no? Por cuestión de, o sea, al final, el resultado final, ¿no? Y todas esas ideas de lo relacionadas con ese tema.
For Woodwin.
890.
Yeah, I chose the 890 as well.
All right. I think I might be winning this whole thing.
Yogi, what did you pick would win?
The 890, it has a basketball court.
790.
That's just amazing.
Tyler was the only one to double
So I
up
will
on this
say-
one.
I just recently, I was playing Star Citizen the other night. I tweeted a video of this, which some people may have seen, but I took the Razor LX with the white paint job, right up with the white snow of Microtech, and I flew it real low. And with its landing gear out, I slid across the frozen ocean or lake. And it was just such a cool experience that it stuck with me. And I don't think that would work with an 890 jump at all.
I would like
can
to see you
try.
try though. Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, so we're tabulating the score. I want to verify real quick, just because we
Nos
had
está
some
diciendo Tyler
issues
que
with,
se
with
deslizó como
D7.
una Razor y que eso le
Your
cautivó. Se
picks
deslizó
for
en el lago helado
Woodwind.
de New
Tyler,
Balance
what
y
did you
demás.
pick Woodwind for
O
the
sea, de
between the
Microtech,
Prowler
los
and
lagos
the
helados
Valkyrie?
de Microtech sí que
I
le
picked
cautivó
the
eso. Que
Razor.
no creo que se pueda hacer con 890.
Between the Prowler and the Valkyrie?
Oh, sorry. Prowler and Valkyrie. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Should win Valkyrie, will win Prowler.
Okay. Will, what was your vote?
Double Prowler.
You did double Prowler? Okay. Elwin, what was your vote?
Double Valkyrie.
Double Valkyrie? I see that there was wrong there. So Elwin had that there. All right, so let's give him the X there. And then Yogi, what was your should and would?
Double Valkyrie.
You had double Valkyrie. So you actually had that there. That's why I asked. We had the entries for day 7 incorrect. So we are correcting that now. While JJ tallies up the score, let's jump ahead. We've got a few minutes left. At the end of all this, for extra points at the end, what's gonna take this whole thing? Yogi, we'll go back to the beginning here. We'll start with you. At the end of this year's Ship Showdown 2020, who's our final winner?
I'd say Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
For all the reasons, yeah. Yeah.
¿Qué es lo que va a ganar al final
It's really cool.
del Ship Showdown? O sea, ¿cuál será el ganador final? Dice que
That's it.
Valkyrie.
If Valkyrie's gonna take this whole thing because it's really cool.
Yeah, it's very versatile. It looks great. It has like a lot to do for the in terms of multi-crew aspects. Yeah, it's just like the perfect dropship for me. So yeah, I think the Valkyrie should win.
All right, Will. The end of this. Who's taking this whole thing this year?
I think the Cutlass Black should win.
Debería ganar la Cutlass Black todo el Ship Showdown.
Just because it is that workhorse ship. It is. I keep going back to it when I load into the game. I try the new one. I go into Gladius to check out the new
Dice que cuando entra al
features,
juego
and
que
then
va a
when I'm ready
diferentes
to go,
naves, pero que sí siempre acaba yendo a la Cutlass, ¿no?
it's black. And yeah, I can bring a friend. I can do a cargo mission. I can take out a bounty hunting target. Like it's just my ship.
All right, Elwin.
So I want to steal Will's answer, but I want to change the ship to the Carrack. Because everything he just said applies to the Carrack in my view. But in addition, you can bring another ship along with you. And that is just super fun.
Claro,
I
dice que
think
va a
the
decir todo lo
Carrack
que dice
should
la
win.
Cutlass, de que puedes hacer de todo, que
And you
siempre
think it will
vuelve,
win?
pero que además puedes llevar otra
I think
nave
it will
contigo.
win, yeah.
I think
I mean,
it's
I
gonna
don't. What
go
other
with
ship? I
it.
Entonces,
can't
la
think of
Carrack
what other
dice
ship
que debería ganar.
on the list can carry. I mean, I guess the 890 jump, but I don't know. I think the Carrack would beat out the 890 jump.
Tyler.
I voted that the vehicle or ship that should win is the Grey Cat Buggy, but it didn't make it into the top 16. But I felt like it deserved its time to shine, and I was a bit let down by the lack of submissions.
We do have it right here. I have my,
Yeah.
my Grey Cat buggy right there.
I think it's underrated. I think it flies. If you drop it out of a ship, I think it's eligible.
Está
But I
diciendo
did
una serie de
indeed
cosas que
choose
no
that the
voy a
Carrack will
traducir en
win.
el Grey
I
Cat.
think it's the year of the
Todas las que
Carrack.
puede
I
volar,
think
si lo
we know
lanzas
it.
por ahí, que debería
I
ganar
think it's going to
el tema,
happen.
¿no? Que debería ganar la
Yeah,
competición.
Can anything beat the Carrack? I mean, that's the thing. Is the Carrack just a walk on this? Looking at the brackets right now, we know it's next round. The Carrack is facing the Caterpillar. The Caterpillar won last year. Is the Caterpillar still a strong enough contender to beat the Carrack? No.
I
I
think
don't
given
think so.
I think just given about the vote that we saw with the Prospector having way more votes than I expected it to, I don't think the Caterpillar is as strong this year as it was last year.
Right. The next bracket after that, it's going to face the winner of the Gladius Defender, which we all think is going to be the Gladius, and the Hammerhead Eclipse, which we all think is going to be the Eclipse. Well, the voting. Actually, the voting in the show today was the what was it? Was it the Eclipse? Yeah, it was the Eclipse. So can either the Eclipse or the Gladius defeat?
Puede la Gladius, porque dice que va a ganar la Gladius y la Eclipse probablemente.
I-
Pueden ganar la
Yes.
Gladius o la Eclipse ganar la Carrack, ¿no?
I have the Carrick down as my will win. I think it's gonna go all the way.
I don't know, man. I don't like.
Aren't you like obligated to love the Carrick? Didn't
No,
the
that
community vote
was
your favorite
done.
ship?
That was done.
That's not done. It doesn't expire.
Yeah, it did. It expired the day that ship went live. My feel to the Carrick, as mandated by YouTube comments, is over.
Wait, so Jared,
Son,
do you,
listen
do
to
you
me,
not
son.
like do you not like the Carrick, Jared?
I'm telling you as your father that the Carrick will
I
be
don't-
your favorite ship till the end of time. Okay, listen to my favorite son, Xylo.
The Carrick is like it's like the New England Patriots. It's like the Carrick is like the New York Yankees to me. It's this dynastic ship that's just fabled and destined to win all this stuff. And I want to see it lose. I just want to see it lose. I got to be honest. I always got to vote against the establishment. And for me, the Carrick is definitely the establishment.
Well, if you're feeling confident about it, why don't you grow your beard out until the Carrick loses?
Well, that's only like a week or two.
Can I do a little tangent? Like we just talked about the Gray Cat buggy
Absolutely.
for a little bit, and I just was fondly reminiscing about Buggy Mayhem in Area 18 way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many of you remember that fun of just walking out into the central square and just getting
You mean
creamed by a buggy out of
in
nowhere.
the Arcourt Plaza when everybody just drove their buggies
Yeah.
and just
Oh,
exploded?
Actually,
There was
I have a
just
funny
burning
I have a funny
wreckage
story
everywhere.
about that. When we released
Sí que
the
está recordando
social
los
module
tiempos en los que
when
podías ir
Area
de
18
18 y
first
pillar
came
un
to
buggy de
light,
estos
you could load directly in.
y zapatear por ahí delante, que antes se podía hacer, que la verdad es que estaría bien que lo volvieran a poner de alguna manera. Pues es que claro, eso va a tardar.
Around the elevator door that they would come out of. And so the first player, looking back at this now, horrible user experience. Maybe we should have skipped doing this. But the first player after we released the patch who came out of that elevator was the number one person to come into Area 18. All 5 of our buggies slammed into the door in one glorious explosion.
I know.
And in chat, he just said, like, he was like, "What the hell?"
I will tell you, and Jake Ross can confirm this. It was actually an errant comment I sent to Jake Ross about 2 months before the patch went live. I said, "Hey, you've got all this space there. We should put the Gray Cat buggy in Area 18." And he goes, "Well, I'll pass it on." And then 2 months later, when the patch comes out, the Gray Cats are there. And so I was there and I watched you in that thing where we started it, and you instantly made it very clear that no idea should ever be listened to that comes from me.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, I'm not a
Ever,
griefer.
ever.
I was in QA back then, so that means I was supposed to be doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing.
You were
So
testing
there's a-
how mean you could be to other players.
Exactly. Therefore, we ended up moving the Gray Cats behind those, whatever.
Me están hablando que al final el retiro, o sea, se produjo el retiro del buggy de 18 por los atropellos y demás, ¿no?
Folks have been asking. These models here are available through through officially licensed through JR Fabrications. You can check that out. Just Google JR Design and Fabrications. They don't have a website because this wasn't like a planned spot or anything. But they've got a Freelancer and an Arrow and a Dragonfly and a buggy. And these are all my custom painted. You have to paint yourself, but they're pretty cool. We like them a lot. And I think they have even more. Like I said, it wasn't a planned thing, so I don't know what they have available. But check them out. They're very cool. Guys, thank you so much for our inaugural episode of Ship Showdown Live. I think it went well. I hope you had some fun. Remember, for folks watching at home or at work or in your car or wherever you are, the voting for the official Ship Showdown contest is ongoing live right now on the Robert Space
Bueno, pues ya se acabó. Dice que están ahí las votaciones disponibles en la página de Robert Space Industries.
What was it? The Gladius versus Defender. So you can go and vote for that today, and then come back each day over the next week and a half to vote for the day 4, the day 5, the day 6, and so on. And then they'll be voting for the previous brackets after that, and then ultimately the winner gets some manner of prize that I'm not aware of, so I can't spoil it. So
Wait a minute.
What?
Who won today?
Yeah.
Who won today?
And what do we get? What's the prizes?
We had a 3-way tie. Elwin, Yogi, and Will all had a total of 9 points.
That is baloney.
As a tie for second place,
Oh, okay, good.
Tyler Wicken stole the show with a total of 13 points.
That's right.
So Tyler Wicken gets the prize. The prizes were a pizza party for your entire team.
All right.
Funded by my team, and a get out of video free card, which means that each member of your team has an option for the next time I come, like, hey, will you please be on this video for something I need or whatever? You have a free get out of free card. That's more
See,
about
that one's worthless. Jared doesn't let me come on video because I just troll him.
yeah,
It's fine, we'll take
that
it
was
then.
going to be worth more to Elwin and Will and Yogi, but you stole it from them. So guys, you can be angry with Tyler for stealing.
I would
it
like
from
to
you.
say though, if you said that the prize goes to my entire team,
Yes.
I will say that working on the community team, that the entire community is a part of my team, and for that reason, you owe the entire community pizza. And everybody in chat right now is going to go to Reddit, and they're going to hold you accountable. Okay, pizza party for the community on Lando. Thank you, everybody. I'll go and upvote now.
Wow, he's so relaxed.
That's it for this week's this last time only episode of Ship Showdown. Hope you enjoyed it. We are going to throw a raid to a Star Citizen streamer that's broadcasting right now. So if you want to, if you can join in, that should be starting up in the stream chat any moment now.
Como siempre,
We
ya
are
está.
raiding
Ya se acabó, no van a decir nada
Binary
más.
Loop, if I'm not mistaken, who was an Australian streamer, but I think they relocated to the UK recently. I
eso es
haven't been
todo.
able to keep up, but check that out. And when you get there, tell them Tyler sucks. Just say Tyler sucks.
You're doing it again. You're being a bully, Jared.
Nope. I can just push a button, you can disappear, and then I can mute you, and you can't say anything. Look at
Bueno, un segundillo, chicos. Venimos ahora con el directillo normal. Cortamos aquí.